Hello and welcome to Saurav's classes. Here in this video, I will be solving the paper of DSC 2008 and I will start with the question number 9 as the previous questions are already covered by me. So, the first question is, suppose the cost function is something like this. When x equal to 0, it's 5 and when x positive, it's 10 plus 10x. So, the question is, the firm's sunk cost is and fixed cost is what? So sunk cost means the cost that we cannot recover. So which is actually spent by the firm and cannot be recovered and can't be recovered. So basically it will be 5 because even when the output is 0, the firm has to incur a fixed cost, a kind sunk cost which it cannot recover. So this is 5 and even if and when x is positive, it is 10 plus 10x. So this part is actually the variable cost and this part is fixed all the time. So 10 is the fixed cost. So this is the correct answer. The elasticity of substitution of production of this is what? So as it is a Cobb-Douglas production function, the property of the Cobb-Douglas production function is that the elasticity of substitution, which is essentially del of x by y or y by x, here it's y by x by y by x divided by the del of m at ts divided by m at ts. So this is the elasticity of substitution. Now by the property of the Cobb-Douglas production function, we know that it will be equal to 1. If you try, you can calculate it because the m at ts would be, I can actually solve this one for you. So if you find it a bit difficult, so it's something like this. It's so our f of x is equals to c of x to the power a and y to the power b. So basically our m at ts, which is equals to mux by muy, which is nothing but for the mux part we will be having c yb a x a minus 1, and for the other part we have this. For the y part it is c x to the power b b y b minus 1. So it is essentially a by b times y by x. Now this is m at ts. Now for sigma we have del of y by x times y by x divided by del of m at ts into m at ts. So essentially we can just rearrange it like this by this times m at ts divided by del of m at ts, or something like this, like this. Now we have already calculated this part, so we can put the value of that over here and also here. Del of a by b times y by x. Here it's directly a by b y by x y by x. Now use it. So this part is already a by b as we can see, and we can rearrange it because this part is constant. So we have this a by b and we have this. So and we have a by b. So it's essentially 1. So remember that whenever you face Cobb-Douglas production function, the elasticity of substitution is always equals to 1. So the correct answer is 1. Now, in a standard ISLM framework, if you introduce the endogenous money supply such that the money supply depends positively on nominal interest rate. So far we used to take the money supply as given. There was the LM curve which is positively sloped, but the money supply function which was m by p, which is actually given and fixed. But now we are saying that it is actually a positively sloped function of the nominal interest rate. Then in that case, what will happen to the LM curve? So basically the sensitivity of the LM curve will increase, so it will be flatter. Consider a simple Keynesian model where the equilibrium output is determined by aggregate demand. Investment is autonomous and the constant proportion of income is saved. So in this framework, an increase in this propensity to save or savings propensity has the following effect. It leads to higher level of output in the new equilibrium. It leads to lower level of output in the new equilibrium. Level of output in the new equilibrium remains unchanged. The level of output in the new equilibrium may increase or decrease depending upon the degree of increase in the propensity to save. So this is basically a classic example of paradox of thrift, where we see that it is a classic example of paradox of thrift, where we feel that when the savings MPS increases, in the long run we see actually the output falls. So it will lead to a lower level of output in the equilibria, or at least lower level or unchanged level of output in the equilibria. So here the closest option is option B. So option B is the correct answer. The solo model growth, an increase in the saving propensity has following impact, and it leads to a higher steady rate of growth. It leads to a lower steady rate of growth. It leads to a growth which is remain unchanged. The steady rate of growth may increase or decrease depending upon the degree of increase in the savings propensity. Now we know that when the saving propensity increases, we actually move to, when the savings propensity increases, we actually move to a higher steady state. But practically, though we are moving to a higher steady state, but the growth rate, that remains constant. You are moving to a higher steady state where actually the output is getting higher, but actually the growth rate remains same. So in the case of pseudo growth model, the steady rate of growth remains unchanged. So option B is the correct answer. Now moving to question number 15, which says that which of the following constitutes an impossible trinity. So the impossible trinity basically says a country which is basically used in Mundell-Fleming open economy framework. Mundell-Fleming open economy framework, which basically says that a country cannot have a fixed exchange rate, a free capital mobility, or independent capital mobility and independent monetary policy simultaneously. So this is known as the impossible trinity, which is usually used in the international economics and also in the open economy as well as Mundell-Fleming framework. So for the details you can always consult to the chapters, but the answer of the question is option 1, 3 and 4. So 1, 3 and 4 is option number C. So option number C is the correct option. Now moving to question number 16. Question number 16 is basically a sum. So for this video I am particularly focusing on the economics part. So I have covered all the economics related questions and statistics related questions in this chapter. So I hope this will be helpful for your exam. So in my upcoming videos I will be trying to solve some longer questions relating to the concept of economics. I hope this will be helpful. Until next time, thank you.